Christian and the Race That Changed Everything, by Timothy Ewing. Chapter 1. The Fall of a Champion. Christian loved winning. It didn't matter if it was a race, a board game, or a classroom competition. He wanted to be the best, and most of the time he was the best. Until one day, he wasn't. It happened at field day. The 100-meter race was his event. He had won the past 2 years, and everyone expected him to win again. When the whistle blew, Christian sprinted as fast as he could. He was in the lead. His heart pounded, his arms pumped, and he could already imagine the gold medal around his neck. But then, whoosh! A blur of blue shot past him. It was Elijah. Christian pushed harder, but it was too late. Elijah crossed the finish line first. The crowd cheered, but not for Christian. Christian stared at the ground, his chest heaving. He had lost, and it felt like the whole world had crashed down around him. Chapter 2. The Sting of Losing. Christian lost, someone in the crowd called out. Christian's not the fastest anymore, another kid whispered. Christian's face burned. His hands clenched into fists. Elijah walked over, smiling. Good race, Christian? Christian didn't answer. He just stared at the ground. Elijah hesitated. You okay? Christian turned and walked away. That night at dinner, his parents noticed his silence. Christian, we're proud of you, his mom said gently. But I lost, he muttered. His dad nodded. That's true, but winning isn't what makes us great. Christian frowned. Then what does? His dad smiled. How hard we try and how we treat others along the way. His mom leaned over and squeezed his hand. What matters most is how we run our race in life, with perseverance, humility, and a good attitude. You gave it your all, and that's something to be proud of. Christian didn't feel like that was enough, at least not yet. Chapter 3. The Basketball Blow. The next day, Christian was still grumpy. At recess, his friends started a basketball game. Christian usually dominated, sinking shots from everywhere on the court. Today, though, things were different. Elijah was on the other team, and he was really good at basketball, too. The game was tied. 10 seconds left. Christian had the ball. He dribbled, dodged, took the shot, and watched as the ball seemed to be going in slow motion towards the rim. However, instead of the normal swish sound he usually heard, he heard someone from the crowd yell, "He missed." Another voice said, "Get the rebound, and shoot. There's no time left to spare." The other team had gotten the ball and raced down the court. The ball was quickly passed to Elijah, who shot a Hail Mary from half court that hit off the backboard and went right in the center of the hoop as the buzzer sounded to end the game. Christian had lost. Again. That familiar anger creeping in. But before it could take over, Elijah jogged over. "That was crazy," he said. "You almost had it. I got so lucky with that half-court shot. You definitely should have won." Elijah put his hand out to shake Christian's hand, but instead of being a good sport and saying good game, Christian just turned his back on Elijah and walked away. He had beaten him twice now, and Christian was now really mad. But as Christian started to walk away, he realized something. Elijah wasn't bragging. In fact, he was actually really nice and even complimented him on how well he played against him. Christian realized that though he missed the shot at the end of the game, no one was teasing him this time. They were just playing and having fun. Losing still stung, but it didn't feel quite as bad. Christian turned around and went back to the court and apologized to Elijah for how rudely he had treated him. Elijah smiled and said, "You know, if we partnered together, we could probably be the next Kobe and Shaq." Chapter 4. More Bad Luck, or So It Seemed. That weekend, Christian went to his friend Lucas's house for a game night. They played Uno. Christian was good at Uno. He knew how to stack draw twos, when to play his wild cards, and how to trick his friends into thinking he had a bad hand. But this time, the cards weren't on his side. Every time he got close to winning, someone hit him with a draw 4. Then another, and another. Before he knew it, Lucas shouted, "Uno!" and played his last card. Lucas had won. Christian looked at his own hand, 10 cards left. At first, he wanted to throw them down and storm off. But then he saw Lucas and Elijah laughing, teasing each other about the game. They were having fun. Even though Christian had lost, he realized he could still have fun playing. So instead of pouting, he joined in on the laughter. By the time they started the next round, he wasn't even thinking about losing. And to his surprise, he ended up winning the next round. Game after game, the boys traded off winning and losing, and by the end of the night, even though he had lost at times, the night was still fun, and he also won a few hands too. Chapter 5, The Big Rematch. Monday morning, Elijah walked up to Christian. "Hey, want a race?" Christian blinked. "Right now?" Elijah shrugged. "Yeah, just for fun." Christian hesitated. A week ago, he would have said no way because if he raced again, he might lose again. But now he wanted to run, not because he had to win, but because he loved racing. Christian grinned. "Let's do it." They lined up. One of their classmates counted down. 3, 2, 1, go! Christian ran as fast as he could. Elijah ran beside him. Christian pushed harder. He crossed the finish line. First, he had won. Elijah panted and grinned. "That was close." Christian smiled. "Yeah, it was." Elijah held out his fist. "Rematch tomorrow?" Christian bumped it. "You're on." Chapter 6. Some days you win, some days you lose. Over the next few weeks, Christian and Elijah raced almost every day. Some days, Christian won. Some days, Elijah won. Some days, the basketball game went his way. Other days, it didn't. Sometimes the Uno cards worked in his favor, and sometimes they didn't. But the more he played, the more he realized winning felt great. But not winning wasn't so bad. As long as he tried his best and had fun, that was what really mattered. And for the first time, Christian truly believed it. Dear reader, have you ever felt frustrated when you didn't win? Maybe you worked really hard, gave it your all, and still didn't come in first place. It's not a great feeling, is it? I understand because I've felt that way too. But here's something important I've learned. Winning isn't what defines us. Our character is. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 9:24, "Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize." This verse isn't just about winning. It's about running our race in life with faith, perseverance, and the right attitude. God cares more about how we run the race than whether we finish first. He wants us to work hard, try our best, and show kindness even when things don't go our way. Some days we'll win. Some days we won't. But every day is a chance to grow, learn, and glorify God in all we do. So the next time you don't win, remember, you are not defined by a trophy, a score, or a finish line. You are loved by God, and He has an amazing plan for you, win or lose. Keep running your race with joy, keep giving your best effort, and trust that God is leading you exactly where you need to be. With encouragement, Timothy Ewing.